How's it going, all you beautiful people? I am going to talk about something really controversial today. Is Pokemon a hobby or an investment? And this is a conversation that I've had with a lot of people around me, my friends, people that are into TCGs, into Pokemon as well. And I've posted videos, and some of my past videos, if you go, people will comment things like, how can you talk about Pokemon as an investment when it's supposed to be a kid's game? And to that point, I guess that's where I'll start. Some people will comment things online and say that Pokemon is a kid's game and how can adults be all around it. But I personally think that Pokemon is meant for all ages. I think that a lot of kids do like Pokemon, but there's a lot of people in their 20s, 30s now that grew up with Pokemon because this year is going to be Pokemon's 30th anniversary. So if you're 30 years old, you're born around when Pokemon was born. So a lot of people in their 30s are around there, grew up with Pokemon, and as they grew older, they started getting jobs. And because they have disposable income, people typically obviously use the money to pay bills, necessities, to live, have a roof over your head. And then the spare money, if you're lucky enough to have it, people will use it on things they like. So it'll be to go travel, go to Disneyland, treat your family out to a nice meal, do some fun activities with your friends, or it could be buying some Pokemon cards. So I personally think that Pokemon is just meant for anyone that likes it. It's not a kids thing. If you go to any card shows, I mean, kids can't drive themselves to card shows. They would have to go with the parent. But you'll be able to see how many people like Pokemon TCG that aren't kids. So if you go to a car show, there's a lot of 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds. I mean, obviously there's not as many 60-year-olds as there are 20-year-olds, but there's people of all ages. So when people say that Pokemon is just a kid's game, like, I mean, I don't agree, but let me know what you think. And I'm assuming most people that watch this aren't kids, so if you are a kid, thank you so much for watching. But I would assume many of the demographic of people that watch this aren't. I mean, I do get to see on certain social media pages what the age demographics are, and I know you can put in the wrong age and you can accidentally put in a different age, but I know that I think the most popular is around 20 to 30 something. But I mean, back to the point. Is Pokemon a hobby or an investment? And to me, I think it's both. I think that a lot of people today will take the extremes, not just with Pokemon, but with a lot of things in life. It has to be all of this or all of that. But Pokemon to me is both a hobby and an investment. You can enjoy it as a hobby. You can buy packs, open a pack, buy a box, keep it sealed, buy cards, collect binders. There's a lot of ways you can do with Pokemon, but I do think it's both because unfortunately to some people, money is part of the ecosystem of Pokemon. Here's why. Let's say you go to a store, you buy an ETB for MSRP. I mean, that's really hard to find these days, but let's say you're lucky, you walk into Target, there's a restock, you're able to grab an ETB for $49.99 plus tax. You go home, it has 9 packs in it, you start opening the packs, and then one of the packs, you pull the chase card. Let's say it's Phantasmal, you pull the Charizard SIR, it's worth about $500. I mean, anyone would get excited pulling that card. And the Charizard is worth that much money because it's rare to pull, and it's a very popular card, and it looks really nice. So all these things go into the value. But no one's gonna open a pack, get a really pretty 1 cent common card and start celebrating over it. So, I mean, whether you like it or not, money is part of the ecosystem of Pokemon. People are going to get excited for pulling good things. People are going to be excited holding good things. People are going to be excited having a collection filled with things that are expensive. There are people that only collect cue cards and stuff, but generally, most people, money will be part of the ecosystem of their collecting journey. And then secondly, I think Pokemon, just how it's made. So I'll take a set, for example, 151. 151 is a set that came out about 2.5 years ago. And I don't know if you know this, but a couple sets are going out of print in April of this year, so 151 is one of them. And Pokemon, up to this point, obviously things can change in the future, but if we grab all the data in the past, up to this point, they usually print a new set for about 2.5 years, and it goes out of print. And then once goes out of print, they'll never print it anymore. And that's why things like if someone has a sealed base set booster box, that's why those are so expensive, because there's not that many booster boxes base set sealed in the world anymore, since most of them are open. They don't print them anymore. So the only way you're going to get it is if someone has one and hasn't opened it. So I think just like the ecosystem of Pokemon 2, where they release something, it's here for 2.5 years, and it goes away. And then in those 2.5 years, while they were printing this set, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more sets come out, and then those will eventually go out of rotation. I mean, there's a collectability of this. Not everyone has the financial means to be able to buy a box and then just keep it sealed and not open it. But there are people in this world that do a mixture of everything. Like, I feel like a lot of people, how they talk is like, if you have sealed product, you're only going to have sealed product. But I feel like most Pokemon collectors that are actually in Pokemon have both sealed product because they like seeing, I don't know, let's say like you have a shelf full of every single ETB, or you're trying to get all the ETBs. I mean, it just looks nice. As well as they rip packs, they keep singles, they trade singles, they sell sealed. Like, there's nothing wrong with buying stuff and then eventually selling it to fund something else in Pokemon, just because the hobby's expensive. Like, it's almost like a luxury hobby. It's crazy to think that even an ETB for $50, and you get, I mean, it depends on the ETB, like 8, 9, 10 packs. To spend $50 to get 8, 9, 10 packs, I mean, you can open those 8, 9, 10 packs in what, like 5 minutes, and you're spending $50 plus tax. So I wouldn't say it's like a cheap hobby. So I think there's nothing wrong with like collectors using their money to buy things, open some things, keep some stuff sealed. 2 years later, the $50 box that they bought is worth $250. They sell that $250 box, get something else. Like, I don't see any problem with that. I mean, it's just part of the hobby. It's just part of collectibles. Like, there's rarity to some stuff in Pokemon. Some stuff are more common than others in Pokemon, but that's the majority of people. And I think that a lot of people that get a bad taste in Pokemon, and why they don't like hearing that Pokemon has this monetary value to it, are just people that scalp. And do I think people that bring their whole family, glitch the system, find loopholes to get product, do I think that's okay? No, I obviously don't. But at the same time, I think when money is involved, and when you're able to make money doing something that's easy, like getting a box of Pokemon cards is really easy. But if you're able to find a loophole to get it and to sell it and make a decent amount of money, there's always going to be people that will make loopholes to get as many products and to flip it. And these people probably don't care about Pokemon. They just want the money, they want to flip the product, and they just want to move on with their day and go get the next Pokemon product. I feel like these people give Pokemon a bad reputation. And this is like kind of what goes in the news too, what goes on your local Facebook pages, what goes viral. But the reality is, majority of people in the Pokemon hobby are just normal people. They're normal people that work 9 to 5s. They're normal people that have other hobbies, have kids, have friends, they have a life. They collect for fun. They use their extra money to buy Pokemon cards here and there. When they have a little bit more extra money, they'll buy a set, more of a set that they like. Like, that's just a normal Pokemon person. And I feel like a lot of what you see on social media, all the bad comments people leave, it's the bad taste that these other really small population, but I guess strong population, because this is like, I mean, bad news is what sells, is what makes this whole idea that Pokemon as an investment is some bad thing, where if you're making money doing Pokemon, it's like so looked down upon. And I know there's probably a lot of people that watch this video that are like, I mean, you're not saying anything crazy. Like, I agree too. Like, it's a hobby to me. I enjoy it, but at the same time, it's an investment or it's a collectible, or I understand that I could buy something today and in 3 years from now it'll be worth 2, 3 times more than it is today. So I don't know. That's just some of my thoughts. What do you think? What do you think about Pokemon TCG? I know it's been a crazy year. A lot of people are having a hard time getting product, which is probably why this question has come up so much in 2025 leading up to now. But what do you think? Do you think that Pokemon is more of a hobby or more of a investment? Or do you categorize it as something else? Or what do you think about this whole topic? I know that there's a lot of people around the world that have a different take on this, but let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. This was just on my mind today and I decided to just film and talk about it. So thank you so much. Hopefully I'll see you next time and have a great rest of your day.